to somebody over email last night that knows you. And
Oh.
she said, I'm supposed to ask you about your funny story about a guy with a gun.
Yes.
A guy. Oh. Wow. I can't believe the story got out. Well, okay. So I was at the Sprint store buying a new phone, and there was a man that was carrying open. He wasn't carrying concealed. He was carrying his gun open, and I was just looking at it, trying to figure out, ooh, what kind of gun does he have? And he just got this really pompous look and said, am I making you uncomfortable? Is my open carry, is that my open making you uncomfortable? And I said, no, I'm just trying to figure out what kind it is. And I said, is it a Glock? And he's like, yeah. I said, a 26? He's like, yeah. I said, that's exactly what I carry. Great gun for a woman.
I bet he loved that. I bet he loved it when you said great gun for a woman.
That's what I carry. I'm like, that's a great gun for a woman.
I love that. Yeah, I don't know that. So on the lines of like the running and the, talking about all the things that you do, being a mother and whatnot, I'm in awe of how you can juggle it, because like we have full-time jobs and we have our blog and we have children and we try to have like a little bit of a life in there. But I'm just wondering if you have any tips for women like us on how to juggle all that and do the things that are important to you while still having a family and spending time with family. And I'm in awe of the fact that you can juggle it all so effortlessly, it seems.
And you're in charge of a whole city.
I know. We don't do that.
I don't completely juggle it all. I mean, I have a lot of people around me that help me do what I do. My husband, first and foremost, is amazing. I mean, he is a true partner. I mean, it's just game on, tag team, whatever we need to tag team. And his business, we happen to be in a really good position where the company that he works for is really supportive of the things that we're doing, and really gives him the time that he needs, a lot of autonomy, so that he can do whatever he needs to do. And I have amazing children too that pick up. I mean, it's interesting when you think that things are getting pretty tough, what people will actually do to come out and help out, and it's taught my kids really just about taking initiative and about taking personal responsibility. There are things now I don't even have to ask my daughter to do. She's like, oh, got it, it's done.
Yeah. And how old are you? You have how many kids?
I have 3 kids.
And what are they all girls, or there's
2 girls, which are the oldest, thank goodness, and 1 boy, which is the youngest. I have
so he's not going to date until he's like 30? Is that?
No, mom's friend. Mom is his girlfriend until,
Yeah, 30. That's a good age to start dating.
It's interesting, though. He does say he has a girlfriend, and when I asked him who his girlfriend was, he brought out a picture of Miss Saratoga Springs. Like, what's going on?
That is awesome. That is great.
And sure enough, he's got her little phone number on the back of it. I mean, he's 4.
Oh my gosh. That is fantastic.
That's great. So Mia, how is your campaign going? So us girls here in Indiana, we're not up to speed on Utah politics as much as we might like to be. So what are the challenges that you're facing in the campaign, and how's it going in the primary? And give us an update.
Well, we have a convention system out here in Utah, and so my life right now is fundraising and delegates. And I'm actually enjoying the process, getting to know all of the delegates, getting to know what their issues are. My job is to try to represent Utah to Washington, represent the conservative values and the beliefs that we have, that we all share, and bring that to Washington. And they're really making sure that I do that, and they're helping me out with a lot of policy, with the way that we deal with some of those things. And it's one thing to go and do things on policy. It's a completely different thing to have principles that guide those policies. So I like this process. The campaign is doing very well. We're growing in volunteer efforts. We are getting the message out there. The bloggers have been very helpful. I have to say thank you to you guys and thank you to the bloggers that have really paid attention to what we're all trying to do, which is reclaim our country.
Yeah. And we thank you for bringing a breath of fresh air into the Republican Party. So
I love one of the things that I read that you said in a different interview was that liberals think that someone like you isn't supposed to exist. And I just loved that quote.
Awesome.
I loved it, and especially because what we're about is trying to change the face somewhat of conservatism and make people realize we don't all look like old white guys.
Yeah, and we don't fit into a stereotypical compartmentalized little box, which they want to put us in, and the mainstream media always wants to put us in, and it's just that's not what we are.
Yeah.
It's not who we are, so.
We are a party that talks about, the working Americans, they don't need charity, they need opportunity. It's out that they believe in equal opportunity for all. This party believes in, this is the party that fought to end slavery. This
Absolutely.
is the party that, and in essence, we're all in this together. And our fight is about reclaiming our freedoms and getting federal government out of the way. So I'm out there as an example because everyone should be part of what we're trying to do here.
Exactly.
Should be part of the things that we're trying to accomplish, and that's restoring the decision-making and the power back to the people.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. And
we're astounded, too, when people aren't when people aren't conservative. I'm like, how can you not want this? That's kind of like what you're saying. It's so hard to even grasp that, to wrap my brain around how somebody.
So the way that we're going to fix this country is by getting our fellow Americans to understand and believe in the things that we believe in. And we have to let them understand that some of the things that the myths that the left has put out there for so long they don't exist. It's not going to help out their lives. You tell me, I'd like to go into the communities of some of these representatives that have created such government dependency in their communities. I'd like to see how many people have actually gotten back on their feet and have been able to go out and make a life for themselves. I guarantee you those numbers are very few, if none.
Exactly.
If none. And what we're doing is we're continuing this behavior that is not helping out Americans. And so we've got to be able to shift the way we deliver the message and get our fellow Americans to believe in the things that we believe in, because that's what's going to make their lives better. That's what's going to help them realize the truth of the American dream.
Yeah.